Look at your last paycheck. Where did the surplus go? If you have been quietly losing the saving versus investing argument with yourself for years, the reason is simple. You have been treating it like a choice. It is not. It is a sequence. 3 levers run an engine. And the engine, once it is moving, makes the choice for you. The next 15 minutes are about putting the two in the right order, with the right horizon attached to every dollar. None of this is investment advice. It is education. Always do your own research before you act. Before we go further, do this honestly. Look at your last paycheck, the actual number that hit the account after tax. Then look at what you spent that month. Was there a surplus? If yes, where did it go? Did it sit in checking until it disappeared? Did it move into a savings account paying less than inflation? Or did it have no plan at all? Most of us were taught the question wrong. The classic framing is binary. Should I save or should I invest? Pick a side. The trouble is that framing makes both choices feel like a sacrifice. Save and you watch inflation eat the buffer. Invest and you watch a downturn cut a chunk you thought was safe. The fix is not to argue harder for one side. The fix is to stop framing it as a choice at all. 3 levers run a single engine. The first lever sets the size of the dollar coming in. The second lever decides whether each dollar goes to savings or to the market, by horizon, not by feeling. The third lever lets the invested money work long enough that returns start outrunning your contributions. In order. Always in order. Once the engine is moving, the savings versus investing argument quietly retires. Stay with me through the third lever. That is where the math actually decides things. The first 2 levers set up the engine. The third lever is what makes the engine run itself. The framework has a name. The income engine. 3 levers, in order. Lowest cost first. Lever 1. Earn. The size of the dollar coming in is the highest leverage variable, and most personal finance advice ignores it. Lever 2. Save versus invest, by horizon. The decision is not moral. It is mathematical. Money you need inside 3 years has no business in stocks. Money you do not need for 15 years has no business in a savings account. Lever 3. The flywheel. Earn, save, invest, reinvest the returns. Once the invested balance crosses the threshold where annual market returns exceed annual contributions, the engine runs itself. 3 names. 3 levers. Earn first. Lever 1 is the earn lever. And here is what the personal finance world has been quietly underteaching for years. Below the upper middle wealth tier, the highest leverage variable in your engine is not your save rate. It is the size of the dollar coming in. Nick Maggiulli, who runs the wealth data blog of Dollars and Data and works as Chief Operating Officer at Ritholtz Wealth Management, argues in The Wealth Ladder, published by Portfolio in 2025, that for most households below the upper middle wealth tier, raising income is a higher leverage variable than tightening expenses. The math is simple. A higher earning baseline plus a steady saving rate compound multiplicatively, not additively. The Federal Reserve's 2025 survey of household economics and decision-making found that the median household saving rate barely moved when expenses were trimmed, but rose meaningfully when income did. People do not save their way out of a low baseline. They earn their way out, and the saving rate follows. The earn lever does not have to be dramatic. A certification, a deliberate roll move, a negotiated raise. The lever moves the size of every dollar the next 2 levers will work with. So we start here, before any savings versus investing debate even begins. Lever 2 is the save versus invest decision. The reason this question paralyzes people is that they treat it as a moral question. Saving feels responsible. Investing feels brave. Both feelings are useless when the actual variable is horizon. John Bogle wrote in The Little Book of Common Sense Investing, Wiley's 2017 10th Anniversary Edition, that money you cannot afford to lose inside 5 years has no business in stocks. The horizon makes the call. Money you might need within 3 years belongs in a high-yield savings account or short-term treasuries. Money you might need between 3 and 10 years belongs in a balanced mix of cash, bonds, and a smaller equity allocation. Money you do not need for 15+ years belongs in a broad index fund, ideally inside tax-advantaged accounts, like a 401k or a Roth IRA. The Federal Reserve's 2025 Survey of Household Economics and Decision-Making found that one of the most common drivers of forced selling at market lows is a horizon mismatch. Money invested that the household actually needed within 3 years. The market dropped. The horizon collapsed. The portfolio got liquidated at the worst possible moment. Almost every retail investor disaster traces back to this. Not bad stock picking. Horizon mismatch. The lever 2 decision is not moral. It is a sorting rule. Lever 3 is the flywheel. And this is where the math earns the entire framework. Earn, save, invest, reinvest the returns. The returns get reinvested automatically inside an index fund. They buy more shares. The shares pay more returns. For the first several years, your contributions are doing most of the work. Then a strange thing happens. The invested balance grows large enough that a single year's market return rivals a single year's contribution. Then it exceeds it. Morgan Housel writes in The Psychology of Money, published by Harriman House in 2020, that the most important compound interest lever is time, and time is only available to people who do not interrupt it. The flywheel rewards stillness. It punishes interference. The National Bureau of Economic Research Working Paper, number 32847, published in 2024, decomposed U.S. household wealth growth, and found that the contribution of returns to total wealth surpasses the contribution of new savings somewhere between years 10 and 15 for households that contribute steadily. Somewhere between years 10 and 15, the market starts doing more of the work than you do. Your job, after that crossover, is just to not interrupt the process. To make any of this real, you need to see it run on a single life. So let me introduce you to someone. Meet Maya, 28 years old. Mechanical engineer at a mid-sized firm. Base salary of $80,000. After tax and payroll deductions, take home is roughly $61,000. Her annual essential spending, rent included, is $42,000. The math leaves her with a surplus of $19,000 a year. $19,000 is the number that, year after year, decides what kind of 50-year-old Maya gets to be. Year 1, Maya stares at the same screen most 28-year-olds stare at. The savings account is yielding a few percent. The brokerage app is on her phone. A friend just made 40% on a single stock and will not stop talking about it. Maya, to her credit, is asking the slower, harder question. What should this $19,000 actually do? Not what feels safe. Not what feels brave. What is the lever order? We are about to walk her through it. Earn first. Save versus invest by horizon. Then let the flywheel run. Year 1 to year 22. 1 person. 3 levers. 1 engine. Year 1. Maya pulls lever 1 first. She takes $1,500 out of the $19,000 surplus and pays for a professional engineering certification. By year 3, the certification plus a deliberate role move take her base salary from $80,000 to $96,000. The earn lever just lifted the baseline the entire engine runs on. The other 2 levers now operate on a roughly $24,000 annual surplus instead of $19,000. The earn lever did not just add. It multiplied. Now, lever 2. From year 1 onward, Maya splits the surplus by horizon, not by feeling. Her 3-year emergency fund target is $12,000. That dollar count goes into a high-yield savings account. By year 2, that bucket is full. From that point, Every additional dollar of surplus is destined for a 15-plus year horizon. So it goes into a total market index fund, routed through her 401k and a Roth IRA. After the year 3 raise, the split locks in. She holds the $12,000 cash buffer steady, and she routes all incremental income into the long horizon bucket. Now lever 3 takes over. Years 5 through 10, Maya is investing roughly $18,000 a year. Assuming a long-run nominal return in the 7% range, which is the historical average for broad U.S. equities, not a promise about any single decade, by year 10 her index balance sits at around $235,000. Annual market returns at that point are running in the $16,000 to $18,000 range. They are starting to rival her annual contributions. The flywheel is starting to feel, for the first time, like it is doing something on its own. Year 12 is the moment Maya quietly notices in a year-end statement, and almost misses. Her annual market returns equal her annual contributions for the first time. $20,000 of contribution, $20,000 of return. The flywheel is officially live. From here, the curve steepens. Year 15, the balance crosses $500,000. Maya is still putting in $18,000 to $22,000 a year. But the market is now adding $35,000 to $45,000 on top of that. The market is doing more work than she is. By year 22, when Maya is 50, the balance lands around $1,050,000. Of that, roughly $310,000 came from her contributions. The other $740,000 came from compounding. She put in $310. Compounding gave her $740 on top. The lever order ran the engine. Earn first lifted the baseline she was working with. Save versus invest by Horizon meant no dollar was ever in the wrong account at the wrong time. The flywheel meant that, by year 12, the market started doing more of the lifting than she did. She did not pick the next big stock. She did not time a single bottom. She just kept the lever order intact, and the engine ran itself. Now look at what just happened. The savings versus investing argument you have been having with yourself for years did not get resolved by picking a side. It got dissolved by sequencing. You do not choose between saving and investing. You sequence them. Earn first. Then route the dollar by horizon. Then leave the long horizon money alone long enough that compounding takes over the heavy lifting. If you have been telling yourself you are bad with money, hear this clearly. You are not bad with money. You were never taught the lever order. Now you have it. That is the income engine. Lever 1. The earn lever. The baseline the whole engine runs on. Lever 2. The save versus invest decision. By horizon, not by feeling. Lever 3. The flywheel. The year your returns start outworking your contributions. 3 levers. In order. Earn first. Here is the one thing to do in the next 24 hours. Open a notebook. Write 3 numbers and 1 word. Number 1. Your last 12 months of post-tax income. Number 2. Your last 12 months of essential spending. Subtract them. That is your annual surplus. Number 3. The dollar amount you would actually need in cash if you lost your income tomorrow. The word. Write the word horizon next to every dollar of surplus, and label it cash, 2-year, or 15 plus. 3 numbers. 1 word. Tonight, before sleep. Tomorrow morning, every dollar of surplus has a job. If this gave you a way to stop arguing with yourself about saving versus investing, hit like. The algorithm hands calm investor videos to calm investor viewers when you do. Share it with the friend who has been parking everything in the savings account, or with the friend who has been throwing every dollar into the brokerage app without a horizon. And subscribe for the Calm Investor Playbook that turns volatility into compounding. Calm investors. Build wealth with patience, not panic.